Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today to give a lecture on Vijay Tendulkar's Silence the Code is in session.
In this techno age, if you want to be heard, you have to befriend the microphone. The microphone is the first link in the audio recording and playback chain. A microphone converts sound energy into electrical signals. The three essential parts of a microphone are the diaphragm that vibrates when the sound hits it, the transducer that converts the sound energy into electrical energy, and the casing that encloses the two. Microphones may be categorized by their transducers. In a moving coil microphone, two small aluminium coils are attached to the two ends of a taut diaphragm. The coils are placed between the poles of a strong magnet. When the diaphragm vibrates, the coils move back and forth in the magnetic field. This generates a feeble current that is stepped up by the transformer. The more vigorous the vibration of the diaphragm, the stronger is the current produced. A moving ribbon microphone works on the same principles as a moving coil mic. The coil is replaced by a thin ribbon which also acts as a diaphragm. This diaphragm may be hit by the sound from both sides. In a condenser microphone, a capacitor works as a transducer.
The high quality microphones that are being used in the studio have a very low noise, internal noise, and very high dynamic range. And in most of the cases, they are all capacitor microphones. Now, what are capacitor microphones? They need external power. The diaphragm is a part of a capacitor. As we know, capacitors are devices which hold charges in between them. They are basically two plates which are electrically conductive, separated by a non-conductive material inside.
One plate of the capacitor is a back plate and the other is a diaphragm placed at a distance of 25 microns from the back plate. When the diaphragm vibrates, the capacitance of the condenser changes in rhythm and current in the circuit changes in the same rhythm. Unlike moving coil microphones, condenser mics need power for polarizing the plates of the capacitor. Some condenser mics have a permanent electrostatic charge either in the back plate or in the diaphragm. Such mics are called electret microphones. All clip-on mics are electret microphones which do need a small power supply for the head amplifier.
Hello, mic check. Hello, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello.
Microphones may also be classified by their directional response.
See, this is a typically condenser microphone which we use in a studio. It consists of a large diaphragm which you can see. If you place it against the light, you will be able to see the large diaphragm which is inside, and it has a switchable polar pattern. See, there are three markings here. One is the omnidirectional, one is the cardioid, and one is the figure of 8. So, we will have to change the polar pattern according to our usage. If we are recording inside a studio, we will most probably prefer the omnidirectional setup, the polarity.
In omni, from all the direction, the microphone is getting the signal.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
When we are using directivity, we want to use the directivity of the microphone, we will use the cardioid shape.
On the way when I was going to Chennai for my college studies, as I told you, train was very crowded.
Just imagine there is a situation where there are two characters talking simultaneously, but you have one microphone. Then what will you do? You'll place the two characters like him, and place the microphone somewhere in between and switch it on to figure of 8 pattern, so that both of these characters come in phase to the microphone.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
This is another microphone. This will be called a shotgun microphone. This is also a condenser microphone, but it is additionally, it's cardioid in pattern, but there is, see, this nozzle has been additionally designed so that sounds which are hitting it becomes highly directional. So it has probably a range of around 1 degree or 2 degrees in front of it. So it is almost like a gun. You can point it, and wherever you point it, the sound will come from there, and it will reject the other sounds coming from other directions. Hello, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is off axis sound. Now it's becoming on axis. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
When I talk about my friend circle, there are lots of my friends, those who love gardening. And more of my girlfriends, they are much interested in gardening.
This is also another kind of variation in the capacitor microphone itself, condenser microphone, but this is a wireless system. This is generally used when an individual character is mic'd in a place where there is a lot of noise. For example, a station where there will be lots of people talking, where there will be announcements happening, there will be trains coming in, going out, all kinds of noises will be there. So if you want to make a character talk in a situation like that and record that, you'll have to place a microphone like this, which is a wireless system. It has a very small lavalier type microphone, which is most probably a condenser microphone or an electret microphone. And it has also this additional advantage of using a wireless technology. Now this is a transmitter. So the microphone will get attached to the connector here, and there will most probably be an internal battery which will supply the power for the microphone as well as for the transmitter, because for running the transmitter we also need power. So we connect it, we place the microphone, we hide it, we probably place it in the character's pocket, and we place the microphone, attach it to one of his collars and hook it onto the microphone, onto his shirt. And in the far end side of the microphone there will be the receiver, which will receive the signal in form of radio frequency and convert it into audio signals, which will come through the cable and will run into the camera or to the mixer, whatever.
Sound check. Hello, 1, 2. Hello. Level. Good. Going for take. So this is Calcutta's new market. It's the shopping hub for most people in Calcutta beyond a certain limit. Then? Okay. So this is Calcutta's new market. It's the shopping hub for people in Calcutta. This is where everybody comes to get the best deals. And as you can see, people are shopping even on a hot Sunday like this. So why don't we go and check it out?
Condenser microphones are usually omnidirectional because the diaphragm is hit only from one side. But if the base plate is perforated, they may function as bidirectional mics. If an acoustic delay is introduced in the perforations, they may even function as cardioid mics.
Again. So next year we will do it again.
Microphones are delicate and expensive gadgets that need to be handled with care.
For holding the microphone properly, you'll have to understand which part of the microphone is more sensitive and which part is less sensitive. Now this microphone here has a center like this, and it has a nozzle, and there are slits cut in the nozzle. Now if I hold the microphone like this, then I'm actually blocking the slits, and much of the sound wave which should have come through these slits is blocked. Now if I'm probably by accident, if I'm holding the hand like this, my thumb is actually closing the port in front of the diaphragm. So my sound which is being recorded now is not as clear. Another thing is also very important is the flop coming from my mouth. If we hold our hand close to our mouth while we speak, we can feel that air is coming out. Now this air, if it directly hits the diaphragm, like in this case, now air is hitting the diaphragm and you can hear the flop sound which is coming. This is undesirable. These pop blows should be as less as possible and should be avoided completely if possible. This is another thing. And another problem which might arise during a recording is this. This is due to the holder of the mic being loose, or there might be some wires jutting out of the mic which is hitting the microphone body, or someone just placing or playing his fingers on the wire cables, things like that. For that, always try to secure the cable while holding the mic so that the connection between the mic and the connector is always secure. Otherwise, loose contact might be there and there might be spark happenings, there might be noise which will come into the recording, which will be very distractive and which damaging the recording quality. Another potentially dangerous situation arises in case of in concerts mostly, when the singer is moving around with the microphone and there are stage amplifiers and stage speakers, monitor speakers playing very loudly. So sometimes you can hear a peculiar phenomena known as feedback occurs. There is a high frequency noise which gets circulated in the system, and it goes on circulating and goes on increasing in level until it becomes unbearably high in volume, and the entire sound which was being recorded gets distorted and the levels go haywire. In order to avoid a situation like this, one must be careful not to point the microphone directly to the source or the speaker, which is also playing back the voice of the singer. So one should either hold it in off axis to the speaker and at the same time hold it as far as possible from the speaker. So these are the precautions that one must take in a concert. I'd also like to stress on some other aspects of recording with a lavalier microphone. Now here in this shot I am recording with a lavalier microphone. Now suddenly if I feel very hot and I start doing like this, a thing like this will, a very noisy situation will be arising. So when using the lapel microphone, the characters should be warned not to scratch or not to kind of touch the lapel microphone, and not to blow himself like this when he's feeling hot, so that the noise, this wind noise can be avoided and this touching, handling noises can be avoided. Now to demonstrate bass tip up, I'll first hold the mic close to his mouth when he's singing, and secondly, the same song will be sung with the microphone a little farther away. You can notice the difference in the bass response, and in the that will demonstrate the bass tip up. Sing.
এইটা তোমার গান, তুমি লোডশেডিং এ চাঁদের আলোর স্বর, তুমি ঝড়ের শেষে সূর্য ধোয়া ঘর, আয়না ভরা দিন, রূপসাগরের জল, আলগা ছুটির রোদ, রক্ত ঝলমল তোমায় দিলাম.
Now the same song at a little distance.
এইটা তোমার গান, তুমি লোডশেডিং এ চাঁদের আলোর সয়, তুমি ঝড়ের শেষে সূর্য ধোয়া ঘর.
Okay, that amply demonstrates the bass tip up problem that might arise. But several singers use this effectively and artistically in order to make their voice deeper, sound more deeper and more fuller. This is to demonstrate how a reflective room like this muddies up voices which is being recorded in this room. So when the microphone is at a long distance, the reverberant fields or the sounds getting reflected off the walls and the ceiling and the floor is comparable to the direct sound which is going directly from my mouth to the diaphragm. So in order to record clearly in this room, what we'll have to do, we'll have to hold the mic closer to the mouth like this. Now see, the direct sound which is coming out of my mouth is much more in loudness than the reverberated sound. So some kind of clarity will be achieved holding the mic closer to the source.
We embellish a microphone according to various recording situations. Some of the basic microphone accessories are the boom rod, the fishpole, and the windshields. An invaluable recording may become useless if the mic is not shielded from the wind.
এটা বুম স্ট্যান্ড, এই বুম স্ট্যান্ডটা আমরা ব্যবহার করছি এই কারণে যাতে মাইক্রোফোন পজিশন চেঞ্জ না হয়ে যায়, আমরা একই জায়গায় দাঁড়িয়ে মানে আমরা কথা বলতে পারি। যদি আমরা সরে যাই তাহলে আমাদের শিফট হয়ে যাবে, কিন্তু এই জন্য এই বুম স্টিকটা আমরা ব্যবহার করি। আর এটা অ্যাডজাস্ট করা যায় বিভিন্নভাবে, হাইট, ডাউন, লো করা যায়। এছাড়া মাইকের পজিশন চেঞ্জ করে দিয়ে যায় একদম বিভিন্নভাবে, ঠিক আছে। আর এইভাবে শিফট করা যায় বিভিন্নভাবে। আর এটা হচ্ছে আমরা ফিল্টারটা হচ্ছে আমরা ব্যবহার করি কিছু আমাদের সাউন্ডের মধ্যে উইন্ড সাউন্ড থাকে, সেই উইন্ড সাউন্ডটা আমরা যাতে কাট করতে পারি, তো এই জন্য আমরা এই ফিল্টারটা ব্যবহার করি যাতে ডাইরেক্ট হিট না করে মাইক্রোফোনে। কোনো উইন্ড মাইক্রোফোনে হিট করে সাউন্ড মানে সাউন্ড ক্র্যাক যাতে না হয়ে যায়, সেই জন্য আমরা এই ফিল্টারটা ব্যবহার করি।
Another kind of specialized microphone that is being used in case of, especially in case of recording bird calls. For example, a bird is on a tree which is say around 60 feet in height. In order to capture the sound of the bird call coming from such a distance, one need to use a highly directional microphone, but it is sometimes not possible to make a microphone that directional. In that case, we use a specialized device called a parabolic reflector.
So I just wanted to ask, if you're using more than one mic, then what are the precautions that we use so that there aren't any problems later during editing?
There are two microphones and two characters sitting face to face. So you're pointing two microphones, one away from the other. So the microphone nearest to the speaker will catch the maximum sound, but the other microphone will also catch some kind of leakage sound coming from character 1, and vice versa. So the phase in this case of both the mics should be 180-degree opposite to each other. They should be completely in opposite phases. But if you are placing microphone, if there is a faulty placing of the microphones, there might be phase cancellation, meaning when you are editing in your post-production and making two tracks, adding two tracks and making it into a mono mix, mono mix, then what happens? The phase of one microphone will cancel out the phase of other microphone. So the leakage which is being recorded with the other microphone will kind of tend to reduce the overall volume of the main microphone. So that will be the resultant of some cancellation happening. So whenever you're using more than one microphone, you'll have to be very careful about the phase of the two microphones or two or more microphones.
Sir, if someone is running and we want to catch the footsteps, how do we do that while the person is running?
When you are recording it with a camera, you can understand very well that the cameraman is also running with the camera, with the character. So the microphone or the sound recordist will also have to run with the character. But in that case, the problem will be the footsteps of the sound recordist will also be loud, that will be heard also. So one solution is very easy. You can just hook on a small lavalier microphone, cordless microphone with the character and place it somewhere inside the trouser or inside the socks, so that his sound becomes louder. That is one solution. Otherwise, what you can do, what the recordist might do, is sync his steps more or less with the character's steps and record himself only. If you have a normal boom microphone, then point it, because that is the closest foot which you can get near to your mic. So just record yourself, but take the precaution of running at the same speed as the character and put your feet simultaneously according to his steps.
Sir, how can we maintain the continuity of ambient sound? Suppose I am shooting, there is a cut in the same scene. When I change my camera angle, there's a great tendency that we don't get the same continuous ambient sound. So how can we maintain that continuity of ambient sound?
For this, what you'll have to do, you'll have to be a little careful when shooting. For example, you are shooting in a room which is by the side of a road, and this road is somewhere there is an intersection or a crossing. So in this crossing, what you'll have to, it's a very common sense. In this crossing, what you can expect cars to accumulate in the crossing, and sometimes so that the cars are honking their horns, and sometimes the cars passing away. When the green light is on in the signal, the cars passing away. So whenever you are taking two shots simultaneously, you are not taking it in continuous time. Probably shot number 1 is taken at 10 AM in the morning, shot number 2 is taken at 12 noon. So there is a 2-hour gap. But when you are taking the two shots simultaneously, you will have to, with the cameraman and the sound recordist, you'll have to coordinate the shots in such a timing that probably in the earlier shot cars were only passing. So when you are taking the second shot, you'll have to be careful enough to let the cars pass only and take the shot at that point of time, so that there is a continuity of sound. And plus, what you'll have to do, you'll have to maintain distance of the source and the microphone should be maintained. So if there is a close-up, and so in a close-up you can hold the microphone much closer to the character, so you hold the microphone too close to the character, and in another long shot which will cut simultaneously with the close shot, you hold it very far away. So what will happen in the second shot, the ambience will be much more than the normal voice, so there might be a jerk. So you cannot take the microphone closer in the long shot. So what you do, in the close shot you take the microphone a little far away, so that there is a lesser jerk in these two shots when they're edited side by side during post-production.
A microphone converts sound energy into electrical energy. Dynamic microphones do not require power for operations. They are more sturdy. Condenser mics require power. A pressure-operated mic is omnidirectional. A pressure gradient mic is bidirectional. Bidirectional mics may be converted to cardioid mics using an acoustic delay. A microphone functions best only when fitted with the right accessories.
When passions of prison